Oh wow, look at that. Lipe is trying to transition from the intro to the main topic of this video about why freezing needs a nerf in Tower Defense Simulator. I wonder how he's gonna do that. By doing this, Shapeforless Productions, I am immediately going to talk about why freezing towers needs a nerf or a rework to their main mechanic in Tower Defense Simulator, starting now. First of all, the way freeze works is quite simple. The freezing tower chills the enemies, then freezes if their chill is higher than the max slowdown. Seems simple enough, although the main issue here compared to other towers is that there isn't a scale with how much investment it takes to freeze an enemy. In comparison, damaging towers values scale on the enemy's HP, making it so that you're going to require spending more cash to upgrade their damage, range, fire rate, and other DPS towers to scale with the more later waves of stronger enemies. Like going from Cowboy and Assassin against the early game of normals, quicks, and heavies, to Accelerator Ranger against the late game Fallen Giants, Angels, Heroes, and Jesters. But with freezing, it doesn't really matter how strong the enemy even is. Whether or not it's a Breaker 2 from Wave 14 or a Fallen Guardian with Blooded and Blessed, they're both going to be frozen in the exact same time by a level 2 freezer. Which the consequences of that looks like this. So unless they have the boss or freeze immunity attribute, enemies are basically gutted against freezing towers due to the system at hand, allowing them to consistently stall large crowds of later enemies with little investment on their end. And even if you're not able to stall the entire wave of enemies, having your freezing towers focused on specific enemies would already be enough since you're effectively neutralizing the main threats of that wave. This is why I consider Freezer, Cryomancer, and Jester to be the strongest ones, because they're specialized into the role of stalled and other freezing towers that also has other side effects, like Sludger and Elementalist's AoE damage. So with the system essentially being overpowered against everything it could freeze, how did the game manage to balance these sets of freezing towers out? Haven't you went through the entire video explaining why it's overpowered to freeze any enemy it could freeze, Lipe? Well, I did say it is overpowered when it could freeze, but not at all when it couldn't. It mostly has to do with the enemies either having the no freeze attribute or the boss attribute. Both of these enemy attributes allow the enemies to basically be immune to chill and freeze, essentially invalidating freezing towers from doing their job in the first place. Which in execution with how the system and its towers work, it feels shit to even use freezing towers. Why? Well, it's probably because the waves and enemies where you'd want to freeze are usually entirely immune to being frozen, making the debuff near useless in comparison to other supporting options. It creates this awkward middle ground in game modes where you can't really allow strong enemies to be frozen since they would absolutely get gutted in a few seconds, but would make bringing those towers feel more pointless since they wouldn't be able to contribute much even at their max potential. Especially since they're not needed to win as often compared to general raw damage and support buffers. I think at this point I've talked about my main issues with freezing towers being unbalanced, being overpowered mechanically whilst being negated by not so fun immunities. So a possible solution for this problem I have with freezing is to give it a sort of scale or any type of required investment against stronger late game enemies. Like maybe make it so the freeze and chill slowness are based on the enemy's size, weight, HP, or something else that would allow balanced use of freeze as a stall, where it's not as polarizing as it is. Giving more of an opportunity to reduce the amount of freeze immunity modifiers on strong enemies, or hell, reworking it into a resistant where chill still works but is significantly weaker, which I feel is more fun to have. Okay, nice, you reached at the end of the video, which, at this point, all I gotta say, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like, please comment, okay, for commenting, whether or not you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you commented on, if there's any other issues I should have, cut out and, re-edited in the video, I didn't elaborate on something, or there's, a rendering error, stuff like that. It'll help me, if you do. Which, yeah. Okay, goodbye now.